Did you know a 2016 Chrysler Town Country just increased in value by 168%? A 72% price jump for a 2015 Chevy Silverado. A 13% increase for a 2019 Subaru Outback. Cars are supposed to depreciate, not appreciate. But right now, that junker in your driveway might actually be worth gold. The car market is in absolute chaos right now. New tariffs are sending prices through the roof. Inventory is dwindling, and dealers are scrambling. But here's the thing. This chaos creates opportunity if you know where to look. In the next 8 minutes, I'll show you which cars dealers can't sell, which ones they can't keep in stock, and exactly how to use this information to save thousands on your next purchase or maximize your trade-in value. This is information dealers don't want you to have. So, let's dive in. Before we get to the specific models, let's understand what's happening in the market right now. As of May 2025, we're seeing a perfect storm of factors creating wild price swings. First, those tariffs I mentioned, they're already hitting. Audi just announced a 15% price increase on their 2026 Q5. That's not a small bump. We're talking thousands of dollars overnight. And they're not alone. This is pushing more buyers toward used cars, creating massive demand. But here's the problem. Remember those supply chain issues from a few years ago? They took over 10 million new cars out of production. Those cars never existed, which means they never became used cars. So, we have increasing demand meeting limited supply. Throughout this video, I'll be talking about market day supply. This is how many days it would take to sell all available inventory of a specific model based on current sales rates. The national average right now is about 60 days. When you see numbers way above that, dealers are desperate. Numbers way below, buyers are desperate. Let's start with where the deals are. The cars dealers can't seem to get rid of. The cars I'm about to show you are sitting on dealer lots for months, and dealers are getting more desperate by the day to move them. This is where your negotiating power is at its absolute peak. Let's start with the GMC Hummer EV, which has a staggering 164 days supply. There are over 7,800 of these vehicles sitting on lots nationwide, but only about 2,100 have sold in the last 45 days. Maybe it has something to do with that $113,000 average price tag. Dealers are starting to sweat with these collecting dust. The Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross isn't faring much better with a 165 days supply. Mitsubishi was hoping this crossover would help them gain market share, but buyers just aren't biting. If you're looking at one of these, know that dealers have way too many and will likely be very flexible on price. Next up is our first mainstream EV on the list that isn't a six-figure Hummer, the Volkswagen EAD4 with a 166 days supply. Despite government incentives and decent reviews, these are stacking up on lots. The EV market is getting more competitive, and the ID.4 is struggling to stand out. This is a prime opportunity if you're EV curious but concerned about cost. Another Mitsubishi makes the list, the Mirage G4 with a 166 days supply. Now, this one's interesting because it's actually the most affordable new car in America at around $19,685. But even at that price point, buyers are staying away. 4 years ago, this was a $12,000 car. That $7,000 increase has pushed it out of the bargain category for many buyers. The Cadillac CT4 is sitting even longer with a 185 days supply. That's over 6 months of inventory just collecting dust. Cadillac has been trying to reinvent itself to appeal to younger luxury buyers, but the CT4 is clearly missing the mark. If you're shopping luxury and don't need the badge recognition of a BMW or Mercedes, dealers will likely offer significant discounts here. Moving into the real negotiation territory, the Infiniti QX55 has a 195 days supply. That's nearly 200 days worth of cars just sitting around. Infiniti has been struggling with brand identity, and this coupe-styled SUV hasn't connected with buyers, despite its sleek looks. If you like the styling, you're in a prime position to negotiate. The Genesis G90 is another surprise with a 196 days supply. This might shock you, it shocked me, but Genesis is trying to sell a nearly $100,000 luxury sedan. The G90 is actually an impressive vehicle with features that match or exceed German competitors, but the badge doesn't command the same respect yet. This mismatch creates a perfect buying opportunity if you care more about the product than the prestige. The Audi A8 isn't far behind with a 197 days supply. This is Audi's flagship luxury sedan, and at an average price of $86,000, it's competing in a segment where buyers are increasingly choosing SUVs instead. Dealers know these are difficult to move, and with new tariffs potentially affecting future inventory, they may be especially motivated to clear current stock. Even more surprising is the Porsche Taycan with a 229 days supply. This is Porsche's all-electric sports car with an average transaction price of $143,682. Despite impressive performance, the high price point and growing competition in the luxury EV space have left dealers with too much inventory. If you've dreamed of owning a Porsche but thought it was out of reach, this might be your moment. But the absolute slowest selling car in America right now is the Jaguar F-PACE with a whopping 291 days supply. That's almost 10 months of inventory. Over 3,000 are actively for sale nationwide, yet only about 600 have sold in the last 45 days. What makes this especially interesting is that Jaguar has announced they're not importing any more new vehicles into the country. Even with that supply cutoff, dealers still can't move them fast enough. If you've ever wanted a Jaguar, dealers are likely ready to make incredible deals just to clear inventory. Remember, these slow-selling models represent your greatest opportunity for negotiation. Dealers are paying floor plan interest every day these vehicles sit on their lots, and that cost adds up quickly. They're motivated to move them, even if it means taking a smaller profit or sometimes even a loss. Now, let's flip to the other side of the coin, the cars that dealers can't keep in stock. Understanding these hot models is just as important, whether you're looking to sell, trade in, or just want to know where you'll have less negotiating power. Why are these cars selling so quickly? It's simple supply and demand economics, limited production, high consumer interest, and in some cases, strategic inventory management by manufacturers anticipating those tariffs I mentioned earlier. What makes these vehicles so desirable? Each has its own unique appeal, but they generally offer the right combination of features, reliability, and value that today's buyers are seeking. How does this affect your buying strategy? If you're interested in one of these models, be prepared to act fast and don't expect significant discounts. If you own one, you're sitting on an asset that's in high demand. The Toyota Corolla Cross is flying off lots with just a 29-day supply. There are about 14,700 for sale nationwide, but over 23,000 have sold in the last 45 days. Toyota's reputation for reliability combined with the popular crossover format has created a winner that dealers can barely keep in stock. The Toyota RAV4 is equally hot with a 29-day supply as well. Look at these numbers, nearly 44,000 for sale nationwide, but over 68,000 sold in the last 45 days. As the best-selling non-truck vehicle in America last year, the RAV4's popularity shows no signs of slowing down. If you're shopping for one, don't expect much wiggle room on price. The BMW X5 is surprising with just a 28-day supply. Despite its luxury price tag averaging $82,000, these are moving quickly. Only about 500 are available nationwide, with nearly 1,000 sold in the last 45 days. Luxury SUV buyers clearly aren't deterred by economic uncertainty when it comes to this model. The Lexus ES sedan maintains a 28-day supply as well. In a market where sedans are generally declining, the ES stands out with its comfort, reliability, and reasonable luxury price point around $50,000. This is proof that the right sedan can still attract buyers in an SUV-dominated market. The Toyota Sienna rounds out this group with a 28-day supply. As the only hybrid minivan on the market, it offers unmatched fuel efficiency in its class. Families are clearly willing to pay the $51,000 average price for this combination of space and economy. Moving into the top 5 fastest-selling vehicles, the Audi Q5 has just a 26-day supply. This is particularly interesting given the tariff situation. The Q5 is built in Mexico, and with the 25% tariff on Mexican-built vehicles looming, Audi may be holding inventory at ports or limiting shipments. Buyers are rushing to get them before prices potentially jump by thousands. The Lexus NX PHEV is even hotter with a 25-day supply. As a plug-in hybrid offering both electric range and gasoline backup, it hits the sweet spot for many luxury buyers who want efficiency without the range anxiety of a full EV. At $67,000 on average, these are premium vehicles that are still finding plenty of buyers. The Lexus RX Hybrid continues the trend with just a 24-day supply. As Lexus's best-selling model, the hybrid version offers luxury, space, and efficiency. A combination that's clearly resonating with buyers willing to pay the $62,500 average price. The BMW X6 is even more scarce with a 23-day supply. Only about 500 of these coupe-styled SUVs are available nationwide, yet nearly 1,000 have sold in the last 45 days. Despite its polarizing design and $89,500 average price, the X6 clearly has a dedicated fan base willing to pay for its unique styling. And the absolute fastest-selling car in America right now? The Subaru WRX with just a 20-day supply. This performance-oriented compact has a cult following, and with only about 830 available nationwide compared to nearly 2,000 sold in the last 45 days, its clear demand far outstrips supply. At $37,000 on average, it offers accessible performance that enthusiasts are eager to snap up. What's fascinating about these fast-selling vehicles is the diversity, from practical family haulers like the RAV4 and Sienna, to luxury SUVs and niche performance cars. The common thread is perceived value, whether that's Toyota's reliability, Lexus's luxury-to-price ratio, or the WRX's unique performance proposition. While these national trends give us a good overview, the car market can vary dramatically depending on where you live. What's hot in Miami might be sitting on lots in Minneapolis. Let's look at Philadelphia as an example. The fastest-selling car there isn't even on our national list. It's the 2024 Subaru Crosstrek, with just a 4-day supply. Only one is currently for sale in the area, while 11 have sold in the last 45 days. That's practically gone before it hits the lot. Meanwhile, the slowest-selling vehicle in Philadelphia is the Ford F-550 Super Duty chassis cab, with an astonishing 2,385-day supply. That's over 6.5 years of inventory. One dealer has 53 of these commercial trucks on their lot, but only one has sold in the last 45 days. This regional variation matters because it affects your negotiating position. A Toyota 4Runner might be a slow seller nationally with a 240-day supply, but if your local dealers only have a few in stock, you won't have the same leverage. That's why it's crucial to check the inventory levels in your specific area before making any decisions. National trends are interesting, but local data is what will actually save you money or help you maximize your trade-in value. And drop a comment below if you need my help finding the best deals in your area. Last month, I helped a viewer in Chicago save over $8,000 on a Cadillac CT4 by pointing them to a dealer with excessive inventory they were desperate to move. Beyond the fastest and slowest sellers, there are some interesting anomalies in the market worth highlighting, what I call hidden gems and overpriced traps. Let's start with the hidden gems. These are vehicles with moderate days supply, around 45 to 60 days, but offering exceptional value for specific reasons. The Nissan Rogue is particularly interesting right now. With a 52-day supply, it's right at the industry average, but here's what most people don't know. Nissan just announced they're discontinuing imports due to the tariff situation. This means the current inventory is essentially the last batch coming in under the old pricing structure. Dealers know this, but aren't necessarily advertising it. If you're interested in a Rogue, now is the time to buy before supply dwindles and prices rise. Another hidden gem is the Hyundai Sonata. With a 48-day supply, it doesn't make either of our extreme lists, but Hyundai recently announced a complete redesign for 2026. Dealers are motivated to clear current inventory, but since the supply isn't excessive, they're not advertising massive discounts. However, if you negotiate firmly, many are accepting offers 12 to 15% below MSRP. You just have to ask. Now for the overpriced traps. These are vehicles that, despite having high inventory levels, dealers are still trying to maintain high prices on, often unsuccessfully. The Toyota 4Runner is the perfect example. With a 240-day supply, you'd expect significant discounts. But because of its cult following and reputation for reliability, many dealers are still trying to command near MSRP prices. The data shows they're not selling at those prices, but they're hoping to find uninformed buyers. If you're shopping for a forerunner, don't fall for it. The high inventory gives you significant leverage. The Dodge Charger presents another interesting case. With a 241-day supply, dealers should be offering deep discounts. However, with Dodge announcing the end of the gas-powered Charger, some dealers are actually trying to position current inventory as future classics and maintaining high prices. The sales data clearly shows this strategy isn't working, but they're hoping to find nostalgic buyers willing to overpay. Understanding these market anomalies gives you an additional edge when shopping. Sometimes the best deals aren't on the absolute slowest selling models, but on those moderate supply vehicles where specific market factors create unique buying opportunities. I can't talk about today's car market without addressing the elephant in the room: electric vehicles. You might have noticed several EVs on our slowest selling list: the GMC Hummer EV, Volkswagen ID.4, and Porsche Taycan. This reflects a broader trend we're seeing nationwide. Despite all the hype and manufacturer investment, EV adoption has hit a plateau in 2025. The data shows a clear segmentation in the market. Luxury EVs like the Taycan are struggling with their value proposition. At $143,000 average transaction price, buyers are questioning whether the electric drivetrain justifies the premium over gas-powered alternatives. Meanwhile, mainstream EVs like the ID.4 face competition from increasingly efficient hybrids that offer similar environmental benefits without the range anxiety or charging infrastructure concerns. The exception? Tesla. Despite not appearing on our fastest-selling list, they maintain tight inventory control. Tesla continues to dominate EV sales with approximately 65% market share. Their established charging network and brand recognition give them a significant advantage. For buyers, this creates opportunity. Non-Tesla EVs often come with significant incentives right now. The Volkswagen ID.4, for instance, has manufacturer incentives up to $7,500 on top of any federal tax credits you might qualify for. Combined with the 166-day supply we discussed earlier, you could potentially save $10,000 plus off MSRP. If you've been EV curious but concerned about cost, this market softness creates your best buying opportunity in years. Looking ahead to summer 2025, we're seeing several factors that will likely reshape the market again. First, those tariffs we discussed will be fully implemented by July. This means vehicles imported from Mexico, China, and several other countries will see price increases of 25% or more. Manufacturers will absorb some of this cost, but not all of it. Expect new car prices to rise by 8 to 15% on affected models. This will create a ripple effect in the used market. Late model used cars, 1 to 3 years old, will likely see another 5 to 7% price increase as buyers priced out of new cars turn to nearly new alternatives. The vehicles most affected will be those imported from Mexico, including the Audi Q5, Volkswagen Jetta, and several GM and Ford models manufactured there. If you're considering any of these, buying before July would be wise. Conversely, American-made vehicles may become relatively better values. Models like the Honda Accord, made in Ohio, Toyota Camry, made in Kentucky, and Hyundai Santa Fe, made in Alabama, won't face the same tariff pressures. Summer is traditionally a strong selling season, but with these price increases looming, we expect an unusually active June, followed by a potential slowdown in July and August, as the market adjusts to new pricing realities. If you're planning a purchase in 2025, the next 45 days represent a closing window of opportunity before these significant market shifts occur. So, what does all this mean for you? Let me break it down into actionable advice based on your situation. If you're looking to buy a new car, target those slow-selling models. The Jaguar F-PACE, Porsche Taycan, or even the more affordable Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. These are where you'll find the best deals. Dealers are paying floor plan interest every day these sit on their lots. Every month that passes, they're losing money. I recently worked with a client who saved over $12,000 on a Cadillac CT4 simply because the dealer had 15 of them sitting on the lot for over 180 days. they were desperate to move them before the new model year arrived. If you're looking to sell or trade in, check if your current vehicle is on the fast-selling list. A Subaru WRX, Toyota RAV4, or Lexus RX Hybrid will command top dollar right now. Even if your exact model isn't listed, similar vehicles in hot segments will benefit from the overall demand. One viewer recently shared that they got $3,000 more for their 3-year-old RAV4 than they paid for it new. That's the kind of market we're in right now. Here's a pro tip many people miss: the sales tax basis benefit. In many states, when you trade in a vehicle, you only pay sales tax on the difference between the new car price and your trade-in value. This can actually make a slightly lower dealer trade-in offer more valuable than selling privately or to a service like CarMax. For example, in a state with 6% sales tax, a $20,000 trade-in saves you $1,200 in taxes on your new purchase. So, even if CarMax offers you $21,000, you might still come out ahead, trading it to the dealer for $20,000 because of that tax savings. The key is to know your vehicle's value before you walk into any dealership. Track it weekly using online tools, get multiple offers, and understand exactly where your car stands in the current market. Knowledge truly is power, especially in this volatile environment. You can take everything I've explained and try to navigate this volatile market yourself. Many viewers do exactly that and save thousands using our advice. But here's the truth. These numbers change weekly, and what's a good deal today might not be tomorrow. The tariff situation is evolving, inventory levels fluctuate, and keeping track of it all can be overwhelming. I want to offer something special for this community. Drop a comment below with where you're located and what vehicle you're looking for, and I'll personally help you find the best deal in your area. I have access to inventory data most people don't see, and I can tell you exactly how much negotiating room you have on specific models at specific dealerships. Last month, I helped a viewer in Chicago save over $8,000 on a Cadillac CT4 by pointing them to a dealer with excessive inventory they were desperate to move. Another viewer in Phoenix got $4,200 more for their trade-in than the initial offer by using the data I provided.